Californians are not just leaving California for Austin or Dallas. Some of them, in fact, quite a few of them, are actually choosing Lubbock, Texas. That's right, folks. A smaller town in West Texas. People from the big old state of California are deciding to move to this medium-sized town. Why is that? My name is Andrew Baxter. I have helped countless people move from all over the country to Lubbock, Texas. California is one of the main states I've seen folks move from. Whether you're an investor or just moving because you want to live there, people are definitely eyeing Lubbock as a top spot in Texas to move to. And if you don't understand why, you'll miss what makes Lubbock, Texas one of the hottest relocation zones in the entire great state of Texas. In this video, I'm going to be revealing the 8 reasons why Californians are moving to Texas and what really surprises them when they get here. Okay, let's start with number 1, which is probably the most obvious thing about Lubbock is the land, the lot size, the amount of space that you can get. You know what they say about land, folks? They ain't making any more of it. I haven't seen any volcanoes in Lubbock. It's a lot of land and it is moving out. And so many folks that I talk to just across the country are saying, well, how big of a lot size can I get? Wow, I can really get that. I can get an acre. I can get 5 acres, 10 acres. That's crazy. 20? I mean, that's pretty wild. But the lot sizes generally, even in the newer developments, are quite big. And a lot of people really want that because people want space generally. And coming from a place like California, where depending on where you are, you're pretty cramped up in a neighborhood with a lot of people. And then you got to go through some terrible traffic probably to get into the city or whatever city you're close to. And the living situations are probably worse and more cramped. That is one of the most freeing things about Lubbock, Texas specifically that people really enjoy is the lot sizes and the amount of land they can get. Even top neighborhoods like Kelsey Park and Preston Manor, the lot sizes are way bigger than you'd be seeing in California generally. You're talking homes on an acre with 4-car garages, 5-car garages. That's a normal thing in Lubbock, and you're not that far outside the city. So that is a massive selling point from a lot of folks in California, and probably one of the most obvious. There's probably one that's more obvious that I'll be covering later in the video, so you gotta stay tuned for that. But before we get into the rest, I gotta tell you guys something. I just launched a new website with a free relocation guide, and you can scan this QR code right here on your TV, wherever you're watching. Take your phone out and look at it, scroll down a bit, and there's a relocation guide. Look, I work with a lot of people, and a lot of people have come to me from agents that they may have reached out to who do not know what they're doing. I will tell you, it is imperative to work with somebody in today's real estate landscape that knows what they're doing, does it full time. Whether you're an investor or just moving, spends time in these neighborhoods. It's more important now than ever because what's happening economically, I think real estate is going to keep going up and up and up, and you don't want to get into something that was not a good thing for you to get into. So that's why you do the relocation guide, look at everything that I'm showing you about Lubbock, everything I'm telling you about, and then I will reach out to you, and you can also always email me or text me, but I would recommend everyone relocation guide and just general website. Very cool launch. Okay, so let's get into number 2, and that is the cost of living. That's right. I was talking to one of my California clients the other day. Good guy, watches all my videos. Talk to him quite frequently, actually, almost all the time. And he was saying, man, I go to Jamba Juice here, which we don't really have Jamba Juice in Lubbock, but we had it in Dallas where I was growing up. And he was saying, Jamba Juice is like $20 here to get a smoothie. Like a 20-ounce smoothie of Jamba Juice is $20. That's ridiculous. Now, inflation has affected everybody. It's affected the whole country. However, Jamba Juice ain't $20 in Lubbock. You're probably getting an $8 smoothie. You're still paying for a smoothie, but man, $20 for a smoothie is crazy. We're not seeing stuff like that. That's just an anecdote that I've seen personally. But what I would say is generally everything, to groceries, to gas, to housing, rent, mortgage payments, everything is going to be like 50% cheaper. Probably. I mean, it's going to be a lot cheaper. Maybe more than 50% at some points. But you're not spending $15 for a carton of eggs. You're not spending a bukus of money for strawberries. It's just generally so much cheaper and more affordable, and that's one of the reasons people love living in Lubbock and moving to Lubbock. So Texas already doesn't have a state income tax. Where they hit you is the property tax. Yes, that is something you're going to have to deal with, but you don't have to pay the insane property taxes that you're paying in Dallas or Austin or San Antonio or Houston. Lubbock's a lot different because everything's more affordable. So you'll pay, probably maybe a lower tax rate also, and it's going to be on less of the value. So where you'd pay a 2.5% property tax rate on a $500,000 house in Dallas. Well, in Lubbock, you could get the same house for $300,000. Big difference in $200,000 in value, folks. I'm telling you, I've seen it. Waterloo time, baby. HEB, Howard Edward Butts, the store of Howard Edward Butts. Believe it or not, that's why HEB is named HEB, the founder's name, Howard Edward Butts. Okay, let's get into number 3 of why Californians are moving to Lubbock in droves. And that would be 2 large things. That would be the Lubbock Cooper Independent School District and the Friendship Independent School Districts. Both of these school districts are state recognized for their sports, their academics, their just general quality, their newness. These things are growing like crazy, and this is where a lot of folks want to be. Most people that I talk to, they've already watched my previous videos about these districts and about areas like this in Lubbock, and they've eyed them down and they've said, ooh, you know, I really like that one. I want to be where this one is. And that's just one of the major driving factors is the school districts, because a lot of people, they up and decide to have children. You know, they just say, let's have kids. And then those kids grow up and you go, well, you know, maybe I don't want to send them to private school or can't afford it. Public school system is a thing. Let me go to the best one or the best 2. And that's generally what people have decided to do in Lubbock, Texas, is those 2 school districts are massive. We're talking brand new high schools and both, brand new middle schools, brand new elementary schools, just good quality community, solid stuff. It's a good, safe place for your children. Okay, let's hop right into number 4 now, which this one, you know, is kind of a given, but it is much calmer in Lubbock than it is in California or really any major city anywhere. It is a slower change of pace. My clients who do come to town, even the investors that come to town, they're shocked at 1, how quick it is to get around town, but 2, how quiet it is. I mean, you're not hearing like tons of traffic all through the night or cars going down a major street. Just generally the pace of life is much slower. People are much more family oriented. They're much more relaxed. And that is just something that a lot of people are yearning for and really like in today's day and age. So that is something that is highly considered when people just come to town. They're shocked by the way people live and how nice they are generally. I mean, chivalry's not dead. Men are still opening the door for women. It's just a good, polite area place to be. And the best thing about Lubbock, Texas, hands down, is the no traffic. I touched on it a second ago, but sitting in traffic, I mean, it probably reduces your quality of life by 10% maybe. So when you don't have traffic, it increases your quality of life by around 10%. And that's something that is fantastic and just feels so amazing when you got to get somewhere and you're not too worried about traffic because you can just kind of zip around, get on the loop, get to where you need to go. Okay, number 5, let's hop into this one. Look, I'll level with you guys. A lot has been going on politically since the dawn of man, but in America, especially the last 5 years. And a lot of folks call me and they are very conservative people, and Lubbock is a very conservative place. That's why I think it's a great place to invest, because people are family oriented when it comes to that. And just generally the landscape of folks being like, hey, I want to get out of my very liberal state and come to one that's more conservative, because those are kind of the values you see here. That doesn't mean that Lubbock is not a welcoming place to everyone, because there's just a general friendliness, and you're not going to see people fighting or killing each other. I mean, people mostly keep to themselves, obviously, but if that's something that's important to you and you're in a liberal state, I would highly consider looking at Lubbock, Texas as a place where I just think about it personally. I'm like, well, there's a lot of things that I'm never going to have to worry about living here, because it's actually trending further to the right. On the TV, you might be looking at it. Which way would be right for you? I don't know. But it's trending further to the right, not to the left. And that's something that is driving people out of cities. And I'm not just telling you this because I want you to think I think one way or the other. I'm telling you this because I see this firsthand with most people I talk to via email, phone, whatever it is. But you can call me with whatever you think. But yeah, that's just one of the main reasons why a lot of people are moving from California to Texas and Lubbock specifically. Okay, number 6. This one I am a direct reflection of. It's a very pro-business town. And it takes a growing town to be pro-business. It would be bad if a growing town was not pro-business. But I guess you could say I started my own business. I did. I sell houses. I get clients. I help those clients. That is my business, and it's worked for me. So why not work for you? If you have an idea, if you're an entrepreneur, the market is inviting, it's accepting, it's willing to take on new ideas and new things that are happening. It's just generally a good place for entrepreneurial-minded people to be. I mean, we have two titans of business who started their massive companies, and they're from Lubbock or started in Lubbock. One of them is Cody Campbell, who, his is Midland kind of, but he sold his oil company, but he went to Texas Tech, played football at Texas Tech, made bukus of money, billions and billions and billions of dollars, but is the school's biggest funder, essentially funded the whole football team this last year. So that's really cool. Another guy's Dusty Womble. He started his company, went to Tech. These guys are like some of the wealthiest individuals in the country, and they, got started in Lubbock, Texas. So that's pretty darn cool. It's a very inviting atmosphere for business people. If you have an idea, or if you just want to pick yourself up by the bootstraps and succeed, Lubbock's a good place for you. It's still kind of the Wild West, but in a more neutered, tame way, but it's a great place to be. Okay, number 7. This kind of ties into number 5 a bit, but the local values and culture. Everyone knows, and it's no secret, that Friday Night Lights is a massive deal in Texas. Football games, high school football games are a huge deal. And not only do you have that in Lubbock, you also have college football games, which is just drives people in Lubbock nuts. People are Tech fans like crazy. They're everywhere. Everyone loves Texas Tech, generally. Most people do. But it's such a fun thing to feel like you're a part of something bigger than yourself. And a lot of people, who support the high schools, they go to the high school games on Friday nights. And that's just one element of the culture that you have here, too. You've got more young adults staying in Lubbock as well after they graduate college. Well, they probably watch my videos. And then they realize, hey, this is a great place to live and raise a family, and maybe I should just stay here. And then young people, they start businesses, they make breweries, they contribute to the nightlife community. So there's all these different pockets that are just growing and developing. I mean, right when I first got to Lubbock, there was no, downtown, it was just somewhere you didn't really go. Now it's somewhere I go quite often. The restaurants, the hotels, the Performing Arts Center, it's just a cool place to be. And you're just seeing a lot of this kind of upgrading stuff happening throughout the whole city. And that also drives the culture. Now, the value aspect of it is there's a lot of Christians there. I'm a Christian myself. And it's a welcoming community for everybody, like I said, but you're just finding a lot of Judeo-Christian values in Lubbock. And a lot of people want to be around that. There's no sugarcoating it anymore. I think just the political sphere of everything that's happened recently. I'm recording this post September 10th. Something very atrocious, terrible happened. And yeah, I feel now more than ever that it's important to be in a place like Lubbock because of all of that stuff that's been happening. The culture is incredible. I love it. And people care about their families. They love their families. They want to raise good children. They want to raise children that contribute to society and don't hate it. And I think that's a very good thing. Okay, and number 8, we're rounding out the whole list here, is that, and this is more opinionated, but I think you're early. And I think the folks that I've talked to from California, and you can just asterisk and put everyone else in here, we're early on Lubbock. I still think the city in the next 10 years is going to be going gangbusters, and that's why it's important to buy now. Not, while everyone's generally afraid and not so optimistic, is the time when you make your money and just make good decisions, good lateral, vertical moves that make sense for you. And that's why I think Lubbock is a great hidden gem for a lot of folks who just haven't really considered any other places. And I think that is going to be a very important driving factor in our growth, in our economy for the next 10 years, is that unlike the Dallas or the Austin or the Houston or San Antonio that have already seen a lot of that growth and kind of, already encapsulated it, I don't know what word you would use, already just seen the buffer and it's getting really overcrowded. Lubbock really is not. So I think there's still a lot of time for that to happen, which is why I would say you're early if you're looking at Lubbock, Texas as a place to move. While businesses are accelerating, neighborhoods are just growing, getting nicer. Houses are being flipped. Prices are still kind of, going like this. And that's why there's a lot of opportunity there. So I still think you're early if you haven't picked Lubbock yet. So thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said, download my free relocation guide. There should be a QR code somewhere on the screen. It'll be down below if you're on the computer, but I'm very excited to have launched that. It's a very awesome resource for you guys. That's why it's taken me a little while to get a video out. Just been working on that and all that jazz. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we will catch you on the next one. Toodles.